Hey, welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today we'll be taking a look at this Patek Philippe, this one in the Complications section of their catalog, the 5396R-011. This one, an annual calendar with moon phases and a 24-hour subdial, all in rose gold as you can see, with a brown leather strap. Reference number again, 5396R-011. Alright, so this model has been in production for well over 10 years now, so if it ain't broken, don't fix it. No need. It works just splendidly, actually, and for what it does, incredibly immense with the absolute sort of the heavy hitting ability of this watch. I'll show you all the functionality for here, as well as the case, the bezel, the dial, the crown functions, the pusher functions as well, and this brown leather strap. I'll be giving you my thoughts on those throughout this video. So starting off with the case, we have a rose gold case, all high polish from finger to thumb, 38.5 millimeters in diameter, same as what you would have from the 10 to 4 o'clock position. You have from the 2 to 8 o'clock position, same diameter, same measurement all the way across. And as I said earlier, all high polish on this case, very nicely and very well done, maintaining the same thickness all the way through, with only 11.2 millimeters in terms of the thickness, including the slightly domed and very nice gentle curvature of that sapphire crystal on the very front, so it slides very nicely under a suit cuff, definitely under a jacket sleeve. And of course, as I said, all high polish, so you do have the intensity of that luster very nicely reflecting off of the surfaces of this watch. Same as what you would get on this bezel, nice domed and, well, slightly domed, almost conical in shape, but sitting very nicely on the front of this case to really give it that sense of glowing on the very front, depending on your lighting situation, of course. I'm in a dark room with a light box, but if you step outside, it would look absolutely beautiful, like so. And taking a look here at this dial, we have what they call a silvery opaline. It's basically white, or a very, very shiny white, giving it kind of like a matte finish, almost, with a tiny bit of diffusion for that light, giving it a very, very subtle glow under any lighting condition. All the hour markers here, index with almost like a pencil shape index to these hour marks, all 18 karat rose gold, same as what you'd find with the case, same with these Dauphin hands as you would find center mounted, seconds hand also, almost a lance style hand there with a nice big counterweight, so you can very easily spot it as it rotates very nicely around this dial. All 18 karat rose gold here because it basically prevents the tarnishing that would happen over time. You also have moon phase at the 6 o'clock position, and notably also around the moon phase a 24-hour dial, so you know exactly which side of the AM or PM you are on based on the location or where that little 24-hour hand is actually pointing. If it's on the right side, you're in the morning. If it's on the left side, you're in the afternoon or an evening, as it makes sense there. At the 6 o'clock position, a date aperture, and just above the very center, you have the day of the week aperture and the month aperture. So I'll be showing you how to quick set those in a moment. And also I'll have a separate video just to show you how to do so safely and correctly without it basically desyncing all of the functionality here. All right, now taking a look here at the crown functions, relatively simple. At the base position, this allows you to wind the watch. According to Patek Philippe, and I trust them, only about 10 full winds is all you need to get to the full power reserve, between 35 and 45 hours for this watch. So you really don't need to wind it more than that because it is an automatic winding watch here, as you can see. All right, and based on that movement, well, I'll talk about that in a moment, but first, the functionality for the crown. Pull it out to the only other position. Make sure you only do this in a dry environment because the water resistance for this watch is about 30 meters below sea level, so definitely surface swimmable at best. You can wash your hands with this, no problem. And I wouldn't take this swimming anyway because it does have that leather strap, so it's not really made for swimming. Anyway, if you pull the crown out, the seconds hand will continue to run, but if you put a slight bit of pressure backwards, as you can see, I'm pushing the minute hand backwards, you can actually stop that seconds hand. But if you put a very, very tiny bit of pressure, just minimal, you can actually not move that minute hand and freeze that second hand as well. So you can then set the time precisely based on the position of that seconds hand and just release it once the time is nicely synchronized up. And of course you can move the minute hand forward or backwards based on the time. So you can do so in any direction. I recommend that you move forward because if you move backward, there's a tiny bit of tolerance for that 24-hour subdial hand. As you can see, it's still sort of around the 10 o'clock, even though my local time says 9 o'clock. So be sure to push it forward. Or if you need to go backwards in time, overshoot your time and then move forward and slowly progress to the desired time, like so. All right, be sure to press the crown in to get that all nicely sealed and synchronized up to an atomic clock once you've got that. All right, now onto the movement. What makes all of this work? It is the 324 SQALU 24H/303. I'm not going to go into all the details of what all that means because honestly I don't really know. I just know that the 24H stands for 24 hours, and that's basically to show you the functionality, the 24-hour functionality there. All right, as you can see, you have a center-mounted 22-karat yellow gold rotor. And all of this, 33.3 millimeters in diameter, 5.78 millimeters in thickness, with 10 bridges, 34 jewels, and 347 total parts, all inside here working, handmade and hand finished. The power reserve, again, 35 to 45 hours based on the, the margin of error given to that mainspring barrel. You also have a Gyromax balance with a Spiromax balance spring. So what does that mean? That means that basically you can take a couple bumps here and there. You can take some relatively robust hits to the watch. Granted, you don't dent the case, and you can also get relatively close to circuitry and magnets and things like that. Anything that could potentially disrupt the magnetic properties of the watch here. It won't, none of that will actually affect the internal movement for this watch. So it'll continue to run nice and smoothly. It also vibrates at a rating of 28,800 vibrations per hour or 4 Hertz, giving you that excellent sense of movement for that seconds hand, moving 8 times per second, giving you excellent accuracy, basically bordering on precision. All right, now onto the pushers here. Let's go and learn about how to set this watch here, because this is kind of complicated. So basically you'll want to set this watch to 6 a.m. and to do so you'll want to move that hour hand to the 6 o'clock position, but not only that, move it so that the subdial, 24-hour subdial, reads 6 and not 18, because 6 a.m. is basically the safest time to do any adjustments to this watch. All right, so set it to 6 a.m. as shown. Does not really matter how that seconds hand is working, but basically you want the hour and minute hands to be situated like so. This is the safest time to do so. The bottom pusher at the 4 o'clock, this adjusts the date. So you'll want to set to the 1st of whatever month. Just set it to the 1st, it does not matter. So I'll go all the way through. The safest policy here is to set it to the 1st, and I will show you in a moment how all of it comes together. So set it to the 1st. Then you'll want to set the month aperture at the 2 o'clock position. Simply press that one in using the supplied pusher. Set it to whichever month you happen to be in. Let's say we're in August 1st, but let's say we're not on August 1st. Let's say the August 4th. Now is when you can change the date again to the 4th. All right, and now you can change the day of the week. Let's say it's Saturday. So at the 10 o'clock position, press that pusher in to advance the day aperture. All right, now we're on Saturday. And if I happen to require a change of that moon phase, use the pusher at the 8 o'clock position. And first set it to a full moon. So you'll want to advance the moon phase until the moon is fully showing in its own little aperture. Count the number of days since the last full moon and just press it that many times. So if it's been, say, 5 days since the last full moon, I'll press it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we have a waning crescent moon. Or, it's more a waning gibbous moon, soon to be crescent moon. All right, that's enough astronomy for today, and that's basically how you would set this watch. So now onto all of this here. We have a brown leather strap, alligator leather strap, in fact, and a very, very nice leather underneath, almost like a calfskin in texture, but it's actually a matching, sort of like an ecru lighter brown leather that really, really gives it a very good sense of patina over time as you continue to wear this watch. The large scales starting at the case and becoming slightly smaller with a matching brown stitching, of course, down to the clasp here, which is fold over clasp. Simply pull it open. All right, you have the open pinhole there, and also the sizing pin for the strap here is at the very end of this little hole. So if you need to size it, you can do so on the fly rather simply, as shown here. Just simply set your little pinhole there, and basically you just set it once, you just set it and forget it. If you happen to be somewhere in between the two little sizing holes, you can you know, just move back and forth at your leisure and as required. All right, and while I'm here, I can try it on and give you my thoughts as to how it wears on my wrist. 7 inches in circumference. Fold it over, use the minder loops, of course, for this leather strap. Actually, much easier to use the minder loops as you close. All right, keeps it nice and tidy, as shown there. All right, now on my wrist, 7 inches in circumference, looks quite distinguishing in that very specific Patek Philippe style, giving it sort of like that that traditional feel, but also staying relatively modern with the very, very nicely spaced apart index hour marks, very concise, to the point, and the fact that they stay completely straight, they don't flare outward in any capacity, really maintains that modern look. Even though this watch has been in production for over 10 years, they're very forward-thinking, almost contradictory to sort of their style here, but very, very beautiful indeed, with that sort of, some would say an eggshell white, silvery opaline, whatever you want to call it, but a very nice matte white dial, giving it a very, very good sense of high contrast against those 18 karat index marks, making it very easy to read. Looking at it down the wrist here, I can recommend this to anyone whose wrist goes even as small as 6 inches in circumference. Makes it a very, very comfortable wear indeed. Plenty of space between the strap and the like the wrist area here, between the lugs, because, well, the lugs don't really curve too far down to accommodate, you know, the wrist, but the added benefit for that is that you have extra breathability, so you can wear this for much longer than, say, a watch that's much more form-fitting. Feels very comfortable on the wrist with that very nice interior leather, and looks absolutely beautiful on the outside with the exterior brown alligator leather straps here. Overall, feels relatively light on the wrist, even though it is an all gold construction. Feels very good and looks very good as well. So enough of what I think. What do you guys think about this watch? Let us know down in the comments below. What do you think about this Patek Philippe? Reference number 5396R, the annual calendar with a 24-hour subdial, moon phase, date, aperture, day, and month aperture. It's an annual calendar that you only really need to correct once, and it's only on March 1st that you need to do so. So a very, very good set of engineering prowess from Patek Philippe here. Kind of a sleeper watch, I must say. And we're currently selling it, I believe, below retail price. or around retail. So, you know, it's actually quite a heavy hitter in its own right. But enough of what I think. What do you guys think about this watch? Let us know down in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we go live with another video like this one. And as always, if you'd like to purchase this watch, new, used, discontinued, we can get it. We can get this watch or any other watch. Visit our website at jazztime.com to do so. Links in the description below where you can see this watch and many more. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you in the next video.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.